descobri quando eu fui ler enciclopédias de era uma gíria. New Orleans, New Orleans. É muito bom isso, não pode. Por toda essa.
We're in tune with WKCR FM New York, WKCR HD1 Radio, 89.9 on the dial in New York City, and you are listening to Som do Brasil. I'm Jasvan de Lima, and we open up with the great Villa Lobos music, one of the greatest composer of classical Brazilian music. And we have our guest with us, Sonia Rumbisky, and she's going to appear live this Sunday, March the 31st, 2019, 7:30 p.m. at the Symphony Space. This is a production by the Brazilian Music Foundation. And let's welcome our guest, Sonia Rumbisky, to WKCR FM New York, o Som do Brasil.
Good evening. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for having us.
Oh, it's such a pleasure to have Sonia here. So, Sonia, tell us a little bit where you come from, and to do this intro, you from in Brazil, where?
I am from the city of Campinas in the state of São Paulo. And I was born there, and I lived a little bit everywhere, following my interests and my talents and my passion for music and for piano, and which took me to Israel at first, the United States, where I lived for a long time, actually New York, not far from WKCR, and now I've been living in Paris for the last 16, 17 years, and I recorded the complete works of Villa Lobos for piano. It's more than 200 works. I received a Latin Grammy for this work, especially the 8th CD of the series. It's 8 CDs that I recorded for Naxos. It was a major amount of work and research that took me about 13, 14 years to complete. There is the great Museu Villa Lobos in Rio de Janeiro, a marvelous place. 200 Rua Sorocaba, for whoever is in Rio. Beautiful place, and has amazing materials and manuscripts, first editions, and I spent a lot of time there doing research. And I'm very happy to be able to present that. This year marks the 60th anniversary of the death of Villa Lobos. So we are at a crossroads again. Villa Lobos used to come to the States a lot, even in the state of New York. Actually, in the city of New York, the 5th of March is Villa Lobos Day, believe it or not. And so while he was alive at that time, he was very celebrated composer in the States as well, in Europe also. And so his music is so varied and so full of life and passion. I think it's very interesting to bring different facets of his music in one and the same program. I'm playing an all Villa Lobos program. I'm very happy to be able to do that, and I'm honored that the Brazilian Music Foundation in their classical music series invited me to do this, and it's a great opportunity to discover his music, so come and listen to it.
In tune with WKCR FM New York, I'm Jasvan de Lima, and we are talking with Sonia Rumbisky, and she's going to appear this Sunday, March the 31st, 2019, 7:30 p.m. at the Peter Norton Symphony Space. This is right here, 95th Street and Broadway. And we have also with us Madalena, and Madalena Souza. She's the creator of the Brazilian Music Foundation and the Bossa Magazine. Welcome, Madalena, to Som do Brasil.
Hey, Jasvan. Hello. Nice to be here again.
It's a pleasure to have you here again, Madalena. And now you're getting into classical music. I know you do the Choro Festival, so many movements that you do with the Brazilian Music Foundation, now with classic music.
Now the classical music we're on the 5th year of Choro Festival. It's wonderful that we're still doing that. The artist director is actually Maxis Barros, and he is the one that is working on the series, the classical music series. We actually started doing the classical music in 2016. That's when I met Sonia Rubinski for the first time, and she introduced me Max Barros. That was the connection that we made in 2016. It was actually Villa Lobos 130 years anniversary, and it was a fantastic concert. She was not in New York at that time, but she helped us with the repertoire and other tips that we needed to have at that time. And Max was the piano player with some other wonderful people. We had the string orchestra and so on. So Angelica de la Riva was there too. Anyway, so yes, the classical music series, we presented the Fabio Zenon last month, and Sonia Rubinski will be performing. This is all Villa Lobos music. And on Sunday, the March 31st, we'll be at the Symphony Space. And it'll be such a wonderful, concert, because this is we're talking about Sonia Rubinski, someone is recorded everything about Villa Lobos.
I'm sorry, Madalena, but I know you from the beginning. All your efforts to put together the Brazilian Music Foundation. I want to say to you, really, from my heart, I know what you went through, and I love all the people love what you do, man. You're doing an incredible job. I know it's not easy, you know what I mean? Everybody try. I remember telling you, You know what I mean? Because I know, man, I don't have the power that you have to be consistent to put it together, the Brazilian Music Foundation. Really. We thank you,
Wow, that's so wonderful to hear that. It's really a pleasure to be here, actually talking to you, because
takes courage.
It takes courage, and it takes a lot of love, because if you don't really love what you do, obstacles can just get on the way, and you just give it up. And the more obstacles I see, the more I want to overcome. And yes, it was a couple of years of a very hard work. But here we are, and now we're getting help. We have Max Barros, and we have other people. We have Sonia Rubinski behind the scenes. We have you, and so many other people that are helping us to promote and make sure that we continue doing this work. I just want to, I have a special thanks here to Jasvan de Lima. And I do remember that I came to New York, when I came here for the first time, it was in 2011. Yeah. I was here with this is the first time that I came here. I had
Kay Lira, no?
No, Kay Lira was after that. It was afterwards. It was forgotten her name. Mm-hmm. But anyhow, through those years, we really appreciate what you have done since you start doing what you do as a DJ.
No, I always told you the truth. I said, yes, it's hard work. Remember?
Yes, I met you back there, and you told me that. But before that...
But I never put you down. See,
that's why I'm here, and I really appreciate all the help and your support. As you just told me today, it's amazing, because I was not ready to hear that from you today. But I know...
No, but I know.
Deeply, you really, we support each other. And I just want to tell you that all the fans, all the musicians, all composers and singers, and everybody that is involved in Brazilian music appreciate what you do. And the deep from our hearts, we want to congratulate you for what you do and your commitment with Brazilian music. And Brazilian Music Foundation would like to give you an award. We have here a certificate of excellency for here. Take it out.
That's amazing.
You can read it.
Thank you. Brazilian Music Foundation is pleased to present this certificate of recognition and excellence in honor of 40 years of outstanding performance and lifelong dedication to the Brazilian music and the United States. Jasmine de Lima, the best Brazilian DJ. Whoa, Madalena, I really thank you. Man, I really appreciate it.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
Please.
All right.
Frame it.
Yes.
That's
I
for
love
you.
It. No,
This is our thank you
it
for
is
what
funny
you have
because, today I come to the studio with that feeling too. I said, I can't believe what Madalena is doing. Because, no, really. I know it's hard because I told her, I used to say, Madalena, you're so crazy. How are you going to do this? Yeah,
there we go.
She's
go.
There.
So thank you too
great.
for everything that you have done.
Oh, man. Okay. She's going to appear live. This is on Sunday, March the 31st, 2019, 7:30 p.m. This is a Brazilian Music Foundation concert series, a tribute to Villa Lobos. And please, my classical audience, so open to learn about Villa Lobos. Of course, Villa Lobos, one of the greatest Brazilian classical composer, but a lot of his pieces, his research come from folklore music and Brazilians, Northeast, for example.
That is true. Villa Lobos has a famous saying. He said, "I am folklore." He actually said that, and he did believe that he was representing Brazil in its essence through the sounds that he composed. Not only in its essence in terms of emotions, but also in a descriptive way. The forests, the birds, the nature, its sociological makeup, Brazil's sociological makeup. And so he did that in a very conscious way, I think. So that's why there is such variety of his music. Yes, he used folklore, not only folklore, Amerindian folklore, urban folklore, children's round songs. There is the famous collection called Guia Prático, Practical Guide, and in those, there are these songs, Nesta Rua, Ciranda Cirandinhas. I think every Brazilian knows those things. And we sang that. I sang that as a child. I don't know the children now, but I did. Yeah, and so he uses that in many. Not only interesting, he uses children's round songs not in pieces that are for children, which is very interesting. He builds these amazing pieces, very difficult to play, full of life, and then all of a sudden there is the citation of a children's round songs, but the music is not for children. Yeah.
So I remember reading when Jobim met Villa Lobos, because Jobim wants to be Villa Lobos. He used to say that. Yeah.
Yes.
He
was very influenced by Villa Lobos.
Because you read all the books. Schubert was one of the influence of Jobim, but I think Jobim has a lot of Villa Lobos, like you said.
It has a lot of Villa Lobos. Even in terms of his image, he wanted to emulate Villa Lobos. He used the cigar, he used the hat. So it was very conscious of his part. not to take away his genius and his talent in any way. But one has to understand also that Villa-Lobos was a person that he knew very well how to build his persona. He knew that when he arrived in Paris in the 20s, and so he kind of invented or created the idea in the psyche of the French that he is this exotic person coming from I don't know, forest, Indians. So he brought the Hans Staden book to France and wanted to make the parallel, like he was one of the people who were going to get eaten by the cannibals, which was not the case at all. But so he was, as in French we say mythomane, as he created his own mythology, and he was a great character, a bigger than life character.
In talking about Brazilian classical music, of course, you going to appear doing a tribute to Villa-Lobos. But more of... what about Carlos Gomes? Talk a little bit. What's the difference between the famous Brazilians classical music?
I'm very happy you bring Carlos Gomes up. He is from my hometown, Campinas. He was a celebrity in his time. Actually, Verdi said that he loved Carlos Gomes' music. He was a celebrity in his time in Italy, of all places. He wrote Italian operas, but he also wrote in Portuguese, and he was a major composer. And too bad that Italian opera of that kind is not so much in fashion nowadays. But his operas are beautiful, very well written, amazing orchestration. There's quite a lot of innovation. It is true, it's a little bit weird to hear an Indian singing in Italian. That is a problem we have. But that's not the only opera where that happens. So it is a composer that needs to be unearthed again. Definitely. So I'm happy you bring that up.
I have in my hands Villa-Lobos. This is Sonia Rubinsky's piano. This record was released in 2007. Should we play? We're going to turn you people on and her music now. And this CD from Naxos Records, right?
Naxos, yes.
Naxos.
Yeah. And I would like to start, the musical examples with the New York Skyline Melody, which I'm starting my recital with that. And it's a very interesting piece from 1939, whereby the Life magazine published a picture of the skyline of New York, and he took the musical lines and found out that way of the skyscrapers the notes of the melody. So the melody comes from the photograph. The harmony is his. It's a very interesting example that it's a type an attempt to compose music that he shared with Varese, a great composer of the time, Edgar Varese. So here it is. We are hearing track 2. This is the 6th volume of the series, and it's called New York Skyline Melody. It's beautiful.